Alright guys, here we are again in my noisy, windy driveway. Cars going by, so again I apologize for the background noise. Today we're going to be mounting a micro anchor power pole on the back of a nucanoe Unlimited. To do that, you're going to need some type of a mounting plate, whether you make it yourself or purchase one available. I purchased the Gadget nucanoe rear accessory plate. Right out of the package, I mean, I noticed it was nice, clean cut, smooth edges, looked nice. Started mounting the power pole mount onto it, and I'm starting to question it. I had to drill the holes out to fit the bolts, which isn't a huge deal, but I mean, I paid $90 for this thing. I should not have to be drilling out these holes and modifying it. And even after drilling them out, I had to, you know, kind of oblong them a little bit to get this plate to fit in there correctly. But overall, I'm pleased with it, but I'm starting to question it because even the track mounts, the track bolts, they don't fit in here very nicely. You can see how difficult that is for them to slide. I mean, I think they need to make some adjustments in the way they're cutting these. But other than that, it's going to work. So what you'll need is the power pole adapter mount made by Power Pole. If you bought the package, it would come with it. So it's gonna come with the hardware. These bolts are super long. After I get the nuts and everything on there, I'm gonna chop them off with the angle grinder. But you're just gonna throw the 4 bolts through there. It comes with an Allen wrench, 4 of these big fender washers, and 4 locking nuts, and some other stuff for like the pull cord and all that. I don't use that. So the Gadget plate came with the 4 T-nuts, T-bolts, sorry, and then these knobs to lock it down. So it's pretty simple. You're gonna put these 4 bolts in there, put the nuts and washers on. Probably don't need the washers, but I'm going to use them anyways. You're going to mount that on there, and then it's going to fit like this on this track, just like that. And as you can see, they don't fit in there very nicely. I do not like that. I'm actually going to probably drill these out a little bit so these T-bolts fit in there much easier. But that is pretty much it, and then you can mount your power pole on the back, run your wires, which mine are already. So here's the power pole mounted to the Gadget accessory plate. Obviously these bolts are way too long, so what I'm going to do is go into my shop, the angle grinder, and just chop these off nice and flush with those nuts. And if you ever take it off, when you spin the nut back off, it's going to repair any nicks or anything that you did into the threads, so you'll be able to reuse those. So here's the bolts chopped off with the angle grinder. That's what that's going to look like. All right guys, so I'm going to show you something on this Gadget mount that I was discussing earlier that I really just don't like. So let me take it off. So as you can see, here are your T-bolts. Both sides, they're in the track. They give you these slotted tracks here, and if you look, the T-bolt is right at the edge of the slot. I mean, this plate should have actually been maybe a little wider than the boat, and so you'd have more room to slide this on. If you see, like, it's super rigid, like you can't get it to go any further forward than that. Maybe it's designed that way, but I don't really like it. I think you should be able to adjust this plate a lot more than what they're giving you. These T-bolts are pinned right against the edge of these slots that are made so that you can slide it one way or the other. And it can't slide one way or the other because of the way that they're just pinned against. Both are pinned to the outside, so that makes no room for it to go in either direction. Again, I don't like that design. I think the machining of this plate needs to be done better, like the holes drilled a little bit larger for the bolts, and these here also made a little bit wider as far as where the T-bolt slides in there. It's kind of tight getting the T-bolt in, and also make the plate a little bigger so these grooves can be a little longer, so you can have more adjustment in where the plate sits. Maybe I'm being picky, I don't know. I just think for $90 it could have been done a little bit better. Overall though, it's going to work. You may just have to make a few modifications to your own. So now you see the completed mount. You get the knobs, tighten the plate down, and it's pretty solid. And that's what it should look like. It should stick off the back enough for your stake to go down. And mess with the level of it a little bit, but that is what it should look like. It's fairly simple. I mean, it took me maybe 20 minutes total to mount that on there. Again, I think some adjustments need to be made by Yak Gadget on that plate, but overall it works. I don't know if it's worth $90. One other thing is, if you intend on using your handle in the back, make sure you fold that over before you put this plate on, because then you won't be able to fold it over. And you can hold the handle through here like this if you need to lift it, but you won't be able to get it out the back side because you'll have your power pole on there, and this plate blocks that handle from coming out. So that's that Yak Gadget mount. Again, I think it could be better for the price, but overall it works.